Let's have a bit of fun. So I did a pike.
If you're performing a penetration test or a pin test, then you are simulating an attack against another device. This is similar to vulnerability scanning. We were trying to determine if a possible vulnerability existed. With penetration testing, we're going to try to exploit the potential vulnerability and gain access to that system. This may be a mandated function. In your organization, you may contract with a third party, and they're required to try to break into systems by performing a penetration test.
That'll work out. Chest, triceps.
Standards and technology. They have a technical guide to information security testing and assessment, and you can access that through professormesser.link/800-115. Security researchers are identifying new threats all the time. Every day there will be a new set of vulnerabilities that might already exist in your services, so it's important to stay up to date. One place where you can get an index of known vulnerabilities is the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Just radians.
Database. You'll find that at npd.nist.gov. You should, of course, yourself perform regular scans on your systems. You can see if any vulnerabilities exist in your environment and patch them before someone has an opportunity to
Oh, that's good off the grip there. Can I do Koreans?
When one is found, you may find that there are many copycats trying to take advantage of that vulnerability. A penetration test generally doesn't start with someone trying to gain access to a known vulnerability. Instead, there is a information gathering phase. There's passive reconnaissance.
No.
You're not touching any of that equipment.
I want to do Koreans. I need two myself at an angle.
Make information about where data centers are located or where offices may be located. You can also find information on online forums or Reddit, especially if people inside the organization are posting to those sites. Social engineering is another great way to gain information from someone without them even realizing that they're being attacked. You can, of course, go to the site, into the dumpster, and try to find information there as well. And sometimes organizations that work with the business information as well. After you passively got information, you can now go actively try those systems. Usually this is done with a vulnerability scan. This is the step before you start taking advantage of those vulnerabilities. It might be something easy. Maybe someone has left a guessing count in a without changing the default passwords. You can perform ping scans and port scans outside of the system. Maybe look at DNS queries and see what results you get back from a publicly available DNS. If you want to find out more information about the system, you can perform an operating system scan, or we call OS fingerprinting, to find out what operating system may be running on the system without having to actually authenticate into that system. Once you find a system with services running on it, you may want to perform service scans or version scans to see exactly what types of services are running on those systems. At this point, we've gathered quite a bit of information. We've passively discovered information about the organization, and we've actively seen what systems are available, what operating systems what services might be running on those computers. Now it's time to try to take advantage of possible vulnerabilities that may exist in operating systems or applications running on those computers. This is where we begin to break into the system, and if you're going to create a problem like that, crash the operating system or cause a denial of service, this will be the step that occurs. You have to be very careful about doing this on production systems during production hours, because there is the potential for breaking those systems down and potentially losing data. This is where we try a number of different exploits.
And then to the pike again.
Try the social engineering and see if you can get the password from someone else, or try something more advanced, such as database injection or buffer overflow, to try to take advantage of a coding problem in an operating system or application. For most people, this is a test of security. You only know if you're secure when somebody really tries to gain access to these systems. If you can get through, then the bad guys can get through. For you to be the first one to try this penetration test before the bad guys have a chance to try it themselves. With most of these penetration tests and with actual exploits, usually there is an initial exploitation where a vulnerability is taken advantage of. Someone gets into the network or gets into a system. That is usually the hardest part. Once you get past that first initial exploitation,
Straight it again.
A little bit easier. Once the bad guys find a way into our systems, they want to stay there. They want to make sure they have a way back in if you catch this vulnerability that they have. So they'll usually set up a backdoor that only allows them into these systems, or they might use user accounts that they can log in normally just like any other user. Unfortunately, many organizations have spent a lot of time and money making sure the outside of their network was secure and not spending a lot of time on the inside of their network. Once somebody gets inside and sets up a foothold point, it becomes relatively easy to move around inside the network without any other types of security controls. This is where someone usually starts, is at the foothold point, and then they move from there anywhere else they'd like inside the network. If you're contracting with